You know, there's something you didn't know, and I haven't talked about before, and that's beverages that you're allowed to have in the Gerson therapy. Now, we're not talking about the required juices or the Hippocrates soup that are a part of the therapy. This is kind of a side to the therapy. Dr. Gerson doesn't really want us drinking water because he believes that water will flush away good minerals that we want. You know, it would flush away potassium, and he doesn't want to do anything that could lower the mineral counts that we're trying to gain from everything that we're doing. However, he also wants everything we put into our body to have value. So just drinking water to him, it's plain, it doesn't add value to what we're trying to do in our healing process. So to make every sip count, he encourages, if you really need something to drink, if you're still thirsty after having your juices during the day, to have an herbal tea. And it doesn't have to be hot, you can have it cool if you want. But the two teas that he likes to include on the therapy are chamomile tea and peppermint tea. He does not allow regular teas from the tea plant. He does not allow white tea, green tea, black tea, red tea. None of those teas are allowed. Spicy teas, he doesn't allow that. There's a medicinal tea, Powderco, but again, that's very medicinal. Usually you would take that if it's prescribed by your Gerson therapist. But teas that you're allowed to have just because you want something to drink are the peppermint and chamomile tea. Now, I have to admit, I'm not a big tea fan. I do not enjoy hot drinks other than the Hippocrates soup. And I did get a little thirsty on the Gerson therapy because I was following the non-malignant protocol. The non-malignant protocol has 10 juices, whereas the malignant protocol has 13 juices. And by the time you've had 13 juices and 2 or 3 cups of soup, you've had a gallon of liquid. You're probably not too thirsty. In the non-malignant protocol with 10 juices and a couple cups of the soup, Hippocrates soup, you may or may not be thirsty. I was. Usually in the evening I find myself thirsty. So I have found a way to make chamomile tea. What I'm making is really a chamomile water. And then I can drink that, enjoy that, and it doesn't dilute my electrolytes, and it has the benefit of having a nice calming effect because chamomile has a soothing and calming effect both to your tummy as well as your nerves. Peppermint tea, Dr. Gerson would use if a person was having issues with nausea, and that was usually caused by so much detoxing going on, excuse me, so much detoxing from the bile, from the gallbladder, that they would need a little peppermint tea and gruel to settle things down. And I have a video on how to make the oatmeal gruel. I will put the link to that down below in case you're wondering. And you can check out how to make that. That's actually, I really lived on that on castor oil enema days because my tummy would get so upset that the gruel was the only thing my tummy could handle. And come to find out, when my daughter-in-law was having extreme morning sickness with her second child, I told her about the gruel and showed him how to make it, and it settled her tummy down, and she didn't have to go on medication, which is a real blessing because she had to with her first child. So for those of you who know someone who's pregnant and having issues with morning sickness, boy, I wish I'd known about gruel way back when. That would have been great. So anyhow, on with our beverages. So this is peppermint tea. It's good. You need it in the Gerson therapy. Everything has to be organic. And I like to get the great big bags because they last longer. You get a better price per ounce for what you're ordering. This, you don't have to get this brand. This is just the brand I got, okay? I'm not promoting any particular brand. Just get organic. And this is Heather's Tummy Teas, organic peppermint tummy tea, immediate bowel soothing, okay? And I got this, I don't know if I got it on Amazon or if I got it straight from Heather, because that's a brand. She has a website here, helpforibs.com. So if you want to check that out, you can. Otherwise, check out Amazon or wherever. And then this is the Frontier Co-op certified organic whole German chamomile flowers. And I did get these on Amazon. I made the mistake once of getting the non-organic ones, and I couldn't figure out why it didn't taste good. And I kept making it the same way I'd always made it, but boy, I didn't like the way it tasted. And then one day I realized it wasn't organic. So you really, you get used to drinking organic, you can tell the difference. So this is what I use. And it's a big bag. It's a 1 pound bag, okay? Now, in order to make the tea, this is how I make a concentrate like you do the coffee. I make a concentrate of chamomile tea, keep it in my refrigerator, and you can keep it in for up to 3 days. I usually drink it within 2 days. And I just put a little bit of that concentrate into my jug and add regular water to it to the taste that I like, so that it's mild. I like it very mild. So I'm taking my pot. I'm going to add a couple cups of water, about 16 ounces of water. And the directions in the Gerson book, Healing the Gerson Way, in order to make chamomile to add to an enema to help relax things inside. Sometimes your body just gets a little too forceful. It might be spasming or squeezing too much, and you just need it to relax inside. This is the same proportions. It calls for 1 ounce of chamomile flowers, and I have found 1 ounce equals half a cup. So if you scoop in the bag and you get a half a cup, that's the same as 1 ounce. Add it to a couple cups of water, put it on the stove. I just bring it up to a boil, put the lid on, and take it off the burner, and then just let it steep for about 15 minutes. So we'll come back after I've done that, and I'll show you what we do next. All right, the tea has steeped now. It came to the boil. I put the lid on, took it off the burner, and waited a good 15 minutes, if not longer. And what I'm ready to do now, I don't know if, yeah, you can see it in there. It's all reconstituted. And I'm just gonna pour it into this jug. Now, what I did do, initially I didn't care for chamomile tea. I didn't care for it. So I would make a big jug of tea, and I'd put like a half a teaspoon of honey into this whole jug. And it was just enough to make it tolerable. And we are allowed a little honey. We get honey, I think we can have between a half a teaspoon or a teaspoon a day. And so I just put a half a teaspoon into a whole jug that it took me 2 or 3 days to drink it. So we're not talking a lot here, and you couldn't really taste it. It was just enough to make me happy. I don't need it anymore. Now that I've gotten used to it, I don't need the honey anymore. But I use a tea strainer to strain this out. It's the same thing I use for when I strain my coffee concentrate. And there's a lot of tea kind of left in these blossoms here. So I just take my spoon and give it a little press. Help squeeze out the last of the chamomile. Mash it down a little bit. There we go. You see what I'm doing? Yeah. Here we go. And now I've got this concentrate, and I will add enough water back to bring it back up to 2 cups. And then when I want some tea, I just pour a little bit of this in and then add the rest of the water to it and just use it as a concentrate. Just use it as almost like an extract to create the beverage that I want. And I just drink at room temperature. Someone's at my door. Now that I'm no longer following the Gerson therapy, I still drink the chamomile tea because I drink a lot more water now. I'm not drinking juices like I was before, and I'm not drinking all that soup like I was before. I'm just drinking water, and I found that I was starting to have some issues. I had been washing away electrolytes just by drinking plain water, and I tried adding minerals to the water, and I tried adding vinegar to the water, and I was having issues with muscle twitching. And it started around the eyes, and it was affecting my legs, and I was getting back spasms, and it's like, well, this isn't good. I got to get on top of this. And I put my thinking cap on and came back to the Gerson therapy. And I thought, well, Dr. Gerson had us drink chamomile tea. I'll try it. And this is, so I made the concentrate like I just showed you, and I'm going to make a jug of chamomile tea the way I drink it now. I just take a little bit of this, pour it in about a half an inch. This is a quart jar, just so you know. There. And it's just mildly colored. You can see there's just a little bit of color. And that's just right. I like it very mild. If it tastes a little strong to me, I'll drink a little bit and then just add a little bit more water to it to dilute it a little bit more. And that's fine. And as soon as I started drinking this, all the back spasms stopped, the muscle twitching stopped, and the muscles around the eye stopped. So apparently whatever is in this is doing the job, and it helps even if you're not on the Gerson therapy. So I hope you find this helpful. You could make your peppermint tea the same way. Oh, and here's a tip I want you to know. Again, this is the concentrate. You can add this to a coffee enema to help relax you on the inside. In case you're having trouble holding the coffee enema, you can use a chamomile concentrate mixed into your coffee to help you to hold things inside. And there was one time I had a real strong healing reaction, and I was up throwing up all night. It was a rough night, and the next day I was so sore. My back, I mean, I literally felt like I'd been put through a ringer. My back was just so sore from all the vomiting. I'm sorry to say, but it was a good night. I got healed. So, but what I did is I took a concentrate like this. I actually used a whole cup of chamomile, not just a half a cup. Used a whole cup, brewed, made a strong concentrate, and added it to a very shallow bathtub of water, very shallow. And I got in and laid down with, and got in so that my back was down in that. And within just moments, all that pain in my back relaxed. It was amazing. It was amazing. So I highly recommend, if you're having muscle aches and pains or spasms, to also apply this on the outside as well as drinking it on the inside. It really, really was good. All right, I'm gonna scoot, catch up with you guys later.